This is Matt Crane from MGMT Boston. On this episode of The Lantern, we have Adam Jackson, one of the general partners of Bosch Ventures. We're here to talk about, in the Seaport today, by the way, what Bosch Ventures is, what they're focused on this spring, and how we can help them in Boston. So, Adam, thank you for having me to your office.
Great. Well, no, thanks for having me.
So, first question, what is Bosch Ventures? What does your team do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Bosch Ventures is the venture capital arm of the Bosch Corporation. So Bosch is roughly a $100 billion annual revenue multinational conglomerate. So people know us in the US for dishwashers and wiper blades. We do make the best dishwashers and wiper blades, but we are also the world's largest tier one automotive manufacturer. We have a semiconductor business, healthcare diagnostics, power tools, appliances. It's a very broad, very diversified business. So we run money on behalf of Bosch. We have about $1.1 billion under management right now, under 6 funds. And our primary goal is to make a return for the Bosch business. There's nothing strategic about losing money. So our primary goal is to turn $1 into 10. We are run like a financial VC. We have a virtual fund structure. There's 8 partners that are the investment committee. Nobody from the business unit is in the investment committee. And we vote, needing 7 votes to pass any investment. Series A to C is kind of our sweet spot. We lead about 60% of our deals out of the Boston office. It's been 100% of our deals. That's awesome. Not any reason behind that. It's just what we've done. And we do a handful of seed deals a year as well, which is not really our focus. We put $500K to $1 million in seed deals. But our check size is usually 5 to 8 million, and we've gone up to 25 million in the various deals.
That's awesome. And it's awesome to have a growth stage investor like yourself investing in Boston. And I would say there's about 100% chance that you either have a Bosch product in your home
Absolutely.
Or travel throughout the day and use or sort of experience tangentially a Bosch product, I would say, for all you out there.
Yeah, if you get in a car, you are touching a Bosch product in some way. We are in pretty much every vehicle.
Definitely. Now, you've been at Bosch for a couple of years. Before that, you were at Bose. What's going on at Bosch this spring? What are you and your team focused on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't slowed down at all. I think one of the things the Boston office is focused on is changing the viewpoint that Bosch Ventures only does hardware. So we don't only do hardware. In fact, our last investment, Via Sciences, based here in Cambridge, is a software blockchain business.
Cool.
We like hardware. We've done hardware. We recently exited out of JetCool in Massachusetts. That's definitely a hardware play. But every day I fight this vision that we are only doing hardware. So yes, please view us as a hardware investor as well, but don't view us as a company that shies away from software. In fact, Bosch has a very large software business and quite a bit of revenue through software. We are not slowing down at all, no matter what the government stuff happens to be. Some of the craziness out there, we're on a newer fund and we are not slowing down. So very active, want to do called 4 deals just out of the Boston office, and we do 8+ deals worldwide.
Awesome. Yeah. People in the community take note. Now, from your investment career, both at Bosch, Bose before that, and some of the things, you've done throughout your career, what are some maybe pieces of advice that you would pass back to founders looking to raise, operators looking to maybe join a business or sort of grow with a business as they think about investing their time? What have you learned from being a venture capital investor that you would pass back?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the number one learning I've had is bad boards kill more companies than anything else. Very few deals, and I've been in venture now 20 years. So I started in 2005 at Argo Global Capital, did that for 13 years, and then started setting up venture capital arms for corporations. And then now I'm at Bosch, which has been around since 2007.
Sure.
I definitely didn't have any founding experience at Bosch. But when I look at my past failures, which is the ones you obviously learn the most from,
Sure.
Bad boards have been the highest or most frequent cause of non-success. It's very rarely that the technology doesn't work. That's extremely rare unless the due diligence had a problem. Yes, you can have a market that doesn't develop, but picking and choosing your board, I think, is just universally, no matter what market you're in, no matter what technology you're in, no matter what the management team looks like, the board has got to be very strong. And I think when it comes to finding strategic investors, that's key. So as I said previously, we're run like a financial VC. All we care about is the success of the companies we invest in.
Right.
I have a whole separate team that works on the strategic stuff. It's not part of our investment decision whatsoever. So if you're a startup and you want to work with Bosch, we have a team that just does that. It's separate from the investment. We can do one or the other, do both, do neither, but we just want the company to succeed outside of anything it could potentially do with Bosch. I think that's key, especially when you're looking at strategic capital.
Perfect. And last but not least, how can we help you? How can we help Bosch grow in Boston and beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. I think getting our name out there is great. Deal flow is always my number one priority, and it's been strong. It can always get better. being viewed as one of the top kind of Series A to C investors in the Boston area is really my priority. People knowing that we lead, which oftentimes in Boston, that could be a tougher thing to find, especially when you get past that seed round. Boston's great at funding those seed and pre-seeds, and then you get to the A, and unless it's a high-flying AI company that everybody wants into, it could be a very strong company, and just it's hard to get term sheets. So knowing that we will do that, and again, just getting the Bosch name out there as one of the strongest kind of quasi-strategic investors that exist in the Boston area.
Perfect. Listen up. This is Adam from Bosch, Matt from MGMT Boston on this episode of The Lantern. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great. Thanks for having me.